Call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Welcome to the August 12th, 2014 meeting of the Village Board of Trustees. We will start, as always, with our County Legislator, Joel Tyner.
Thank you. Good evening. One of the two folks videotaping just asked me a question about, is the county doing anything with solar? So I'm just going to start out with that very briefly, because I was going to mention, actually, reporter Bill Kemble is here, did an article in the Daily Freeman about a week or so ago about the town of Esopus, and it sort of blew my mind that I know you guys are doing great here with the solar panels on this building and town hall and the rec, and there's Republicans and Democrats all over the Hudson Valley that are making solar panels happen on municipally owned buildings. But the Daily Freeman reported, Mr. Kemble wrote about the town of Esopus, 4.5 acres on a landfill where the developer is paying upfront for the cost of $3 million, and it's not just the town hall energy that's going to be 100% powered through solar. It's the highway department, the street lights, the water, sewer, everything in the town of Esopus, maybe the first municipality in the Northeast to have, a 5-acre, 4.5-acre solar array, 5,200 panels. I bring this up because it seems like sort of a confluence, synchronicity of things where, one of the folks videotaping tonight is asking me what's happening with solar. And don't kill me, I'm just going to vent a tiny bit. 6 years ago, got a resolution passed for solar panels for county buildings. Nothing happened. Last April, got a resolution passed unanimously for solar panels for county buildings. Nothing's happened. And yeah, I'm laughing, so I'm not crying. Last June, resolution passed unanimously for Solarize. There was a question that I just took 5 minutes ago about, look at Genesee County, Tompkins County, Madison County. There's 100 different places across the country. Would you get a deep discount on solar through bulk purchase through the county? And I'm talking about taking a $20,000 residential photovoltaic system down to $5,000 just through bulk volume purchase. If you go to solarizemadison.com, 800% increase in residential solar installations in 1 year. I hear that there's been a lot of mixed messages I've been getting back and forth from the administration. The county planning commissioner told me and everybody, the county is going to release its draft proposal for this. And I stipulated that would have to happen in order to get my vote. And then after I voted for that person to be confirmed, was told, no, we're not going to be releasing a draft proposal. Then I just heard a day or two ago, things may change. I'm just saying there's no reason why the 300,000 people here in Dutchess County should not be entitled to a $5,000 solar system for their home. There's just absolutely no reason. There's no difference between Dutchess County and Madison County, Genesee, Tompkins County, and I'm asking everybody in this room to demand politely or unpolitely from this county administration that happen. Also, the front page of the Northern Dutchess News talks about Patrick Properties and OCIS, the Dutchess County Office of Computer Information Services. That article just came out at the front page of today's Northern Dutchess News. Just a little bit of context. It's a great newspaper. What did not get mentioned, what I brought up during the meeting, because I've been doing the research on this for 17 years, Patrick Properties, as soon as somebody brought that up, sort of bells and whistles started going off in my head. Those are one of the entities that have frankly gotten about $227,000 a year in county contracts for many years running, and also been part of pay-to-play in Dutchess County. If you look at the official public records at the Board of Elections, at the County Comptroller's Office, whether it's Dick Noel or Diane Jablonski or Jim Coughlin, excuse me. No matter who the county comptroller is, for the last 17 years, I've looked at the big county contracts and the big donors, and it doesn't seem to matter who the county executives. I'm talking about a lot, thousands upon thousands of dollars repeatedly, but it has nothing to do with the fact that Patrick Properties gets a $227,000 contract each year. And again, last night during the board meeting, the county legislature attorney gave us all information that it's illegal, supposedly, for Dutchess County to do what Orange County and Rockland County have done, which is to pass a law to ban pay-to-play. So it's illegal, apparently, for us to do something about corruption. It's ludicrous, because when last October, the Orange County legislature almost unanimously, just about unanimously passed that initiative to ban pay-to-play in Orange County government. It wasn't a Democratic initiative, it was a Republican initiative. So this is what we're dealing with. And I've been going to those meetings for 17 years. I'm asking you folks to come watch the meetings, because it's pretty incredible what's going on. Thursday's committee day for the county legislature. I politely asked a question of the jail administrator. Do we have an idea of how many women, how many mentally ill, how many youth, how many state parole violators are in jail right now? Because the Criminal Justice Council has recommended alternatives. And I was mocked, denigrated, degraded, humiliated. The question from George Crom to me was, I don't know, Joel, what did you do with those numbers? Did you do anything with those numbers? Because I got those numbers in December, but it's a big joke to so many people that it doesn't really matter. There's no way to stop $150, $200 million jail construction. It's ludicrous what's going on. And I'm asking everybody in this room to please come to the county legislature meetings, or you can watch the webcast. You can see how many times, how many dozens of times each meeting they basically don't even let me talk. And so I get a chance to talk here. And I know I overstayed my welcome, but just last night also, I put this out to the media this morning. I'm hoping the media is going to report it. I got 2 letters signed by 6 of us in the county legislature. I was hoping for some bipartisan support. That didn't happen. A letter in support of the Women's Equality Act, all 10 points of the Women's Equality Act. And also, there's a $6 billion surplus in the state budget right now, $6 billion. Eric Schneiderman's hard work, $4 billion in legal settlements with the banks and the insurance industry. Wouldn't it be a good idea if Republicans and Democrats, in our county government worked together, sent a strong message to Albany, to the governor and the state's leaders? We would like some of that $6 billion, right? There was nothing in the letter that I circulated last night, nothing in the letter about, progressive taxation, wealthy people should pay more. It was just saying we want our piece of the pie. Schools are owed about $84 million in Dutchess County. Anyway, that was a little frustrating to me that only 6 of us signed on to that. The only other thing I was going to ask, and I've been talking about this for a while, the Northern Dutchess Alliance 6 years ago issued a report. It's called the Blueprint for Economic Development. It's on that website, northerndutchess.org. They talk about LOIS, locally owned import substitution. They talk about a living wage. The Northern Dutchess Alliance, I know a lot of people here have been going to those meetings for years. They talk about a living wage. And we're doing our 20th annual Labor Day rally. It's going to be Monday, September 1st at noon in front of the Poughkeepsie Post Office, Mansion and Market Streets. San Diego, they put a $10 an hour minimum wage in place. They cut the unemployment rate from 7.6 to 5.8% in 1 year. The unemployment rate went down because people had more money in their pockets to buy stuff. So thank you for letting me talk more than I get to talk down there. Sorry if I talked a little bit too much. I'm at 876-2488. My cell phone is 453-2105. Agree, disagree, want to give me some grief? Thank you, sirs and ma'am.
Thanks, Joel. So our next agenda item here, we want to take a moment to recognize the long time service of Francois Weigel. He's been a fixture in the community here for decades and a servant to the village for 40 years on the Zoning Board of Appeals. So we have a couple certificates here, and I'll meet them up at the other microphone. So Francois, we got one here for you from the village. That'd be the second one, recognizing your 40 years of service. And I know it's 40 years on the zoning board, and I think, what is it, 37?
37 as chairman,
as the
yep.
chair. So that's very distinguished service.
Thank you so
We
much.
thank you very much for it, the residents and the members of the board here. The second one is from the New York State Conference of Mayors, also recognition for your 40 years of public service.
Oh, thank you very
So
much.
we thank you very much.
I got to tell you, it was an easy job.
And the mic is yours. Yeah.
Thank you. Here's my retirement check.
Retirement check?
Come on, Patty, get the paperwork going on. Look for my retirement check.
It's in the mail.
It's in the mail. I can check in the mail every day. I
I'm
turn my
trying.
hearing aid up so I can hear the letter slot. I get the Stop and Shop flyer, shake it in case it's in there. Nothing.
Nothing, huh?
Yeah.
It'll be coming.
I got to tell you, this has been an easy job because I got such a great board. A couple of them are here tonight. They're fantastic. They're professionals, they're dedicated, they're committed to the village, but also to the applicants that come in. You'll do well to hang on to those people. They're great, okay? Now, all this time you thought I was chairman of the zoning board. The real chairman of the zoning board is Karen. Absolutely. Don't let her get away, okay? She makes me look good at these meetings, all right? So everything's organized. All I do is I have to come in, she hands me a folder. If there's more than one case on the agenda for the night, she hands me one folder at a time so I don't get confused. Right? Right, okay. All I have to do is open it up, read the first page, flip the page, read the next one, and so on. I look like I know what I'm doing. And everything went well on that until the last hearing. I shuffled the papers and I read the wrong thing, and Al had to bail me out. But up to that point, it worked great. So it's been a good time working on that board. So I thank you for putting up with me, and thank you for recognizing me.
Unless you've never been on the zoning board, that's a very tough job.
So we got a non-agenda item here that I just wanted to mention. Francois reminded me about the folders. We're kind of working through a process up here, and we all now have a folder to hopefully keep us all on track, and we've been adjusting our agenda schedule here. And the public portion of that is we have a cutoff time now of the Friday preceding the meeting at noon time. So if you have any special requests, correspondence that you want addressed at the board meeting, we're trying to work it out so that we're all on the same page. So noon time, Friday, prior to the regularly scheduled meeting. Deliver it to Pat, and we'll get it on the agenda. And you will notice that it looks like a longer agenda, but we're trying to a new process to put everything that requires our action on there to keep us all on track and kind of give you a template of where we're going for the evening. So the next thing on there is a report from the treasurer, which she's not here, but I have the report. We filed an extension for the AUD. The accountant wasn't able to get that done. That's our annual audit that gets reported to the state. As of July 1st, we have approximately $251,000 in our fund balance. That doesn't include what we collected in taxes, and that's a little lower than it should look. We have an outstanding payments coming in from the fire contract, which should be another $45,000 to bring us up closer to where we thought we should be. She had requested a consolidation of escrow accounts. Just wanted you to know that that's going to happen. And the new billing software, which KVS, we should go live in September now.
I thought it was going to be in August.
The end of August.
Okay, I think it got pushed back to go live with it. We're building the back system, which should help us have a better treasurer's report every month here, and I hope to add that to our agenda on a regular basis. That's it for the.
She also gave us a set of this year.
Yes.
I think we should do that this year.
Yeah, it's everyone has it in their folder there. Oh, okay. We will do that. So we have to zero out the budget for 2013, 2014. Everyone has a copy of the zeroed out budget items. So basically what you do is the ones that were under budget, the line items, and those that were over budget, what's my word here?
Meld them together?
Have to even.
Meld was not consolidate. No. Come on, Hans.
I'm sorry?
Anyway, to zero it all out, make it all look good. So I would like to make a motion to accept the line item account transfers as submitted by the treasurer.
Second.
Have a discussion?
Any discussion on that?
Yeah. I went through these numbers and I found a couple of items that need to be changed, fixed, either in the water department,
Okay.
where the capital wasn't doesn't work. It's dead. Wait. Can you hear me? No, it's not. Okay, anyway, we have to add, I had last year and the year before, we had added capital items that were supposed to be taken out of my fund balance. And it did not show us this report, so she's fixing that. So I have no problem with accepting that and motioning that with the caveat that we make these adjustmts to this.
So we'll add that caveat to the motion that would include the adjustments that Heinz has already given to the treasurer.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're moving on to the department reports, starting out with Gary for wastewater.
All right. Wastewater treated in July, 4.25 million gallons. Gallons of sludge processed, 43,000 gallons. And pounds of sludge processed, 5,370 pounds. And we got a couple of things. First, need to make a motion. We need to, I think Pat has already developed the legal notice that we're seeking competitive bids for sludge cake disposal, and we need to instruct Anthony to advertise for bids. So I want to make a motion that we instruct Anthony Gasparini to advertise for bids for the sludge removal services.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Do we put that out to bid annually?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We also recently put out to bid a surplus vehicle and a snowplow, and I have here the bids we received. So I'm going to unseal them now. And we have a bid $25 for the snowplow. And $1,605 on the Ford pickup. And these are evidently the only bids we received.
Are they from the same person or are they from different people?
They are from the same person, Herb Stickles.
He's here tonight.
Great. Okay. Since these are the only bids we received, I make a motion that we accept the bids.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. And that's it for wastewater.
Okay. Pat will take care of the paperwork for you to, okay. Sounds good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Heinz, Water Department?
Am I working here? No. Is it working? Yeah, okay. We had net treated water in July of 13,188,000 gallons. We fixed the basement leak by sealing it and improving the drainage on the south side of the building. That was all done by the water department. I have actually reported that before. As far as the water distribution system is concerned, we replaced a broken hydrant at Grinnell and Butler in Rhinecliff. We repaired a 1.25-inch line, or the 1.25-inch line at Springbrook Place Park that was punctured by somebody. We replaced 12 old-style water meters with the new Neptune e-coders, and to date we did 82 of them. I wanted to do between about 125 and 150 a year of these. We received a proposal from Erdman Anthony for an improvement concept to the village water system, water distribution system. And essentially what I asked for is to take a look at the various areas within the village only to see what needs to be done and what priorities we should address and what potential cost exposures would be to replace a number of the water lines. To that end, I had given our village engineer an estimation of the age of the pipes in the various locations. I had collected and photographed a number of pipe cross-section as they broke and as we replaced hydrants and so on to see what the inside and what the outside of some of these pipes look like. I had taken close to 50 or 60 data points as far as flow and pressure is concerned within the village and also Rhinecliff, and had also put a plan together on how to replace the valves and how to replace some of the hydrants. So based on that data, Earthman Anthony will get us a conceptual plan. Now, this is not an engineering plan. This is just a very high-level plan to tell us, where we should start our activities. The charge for that is about $10,000. The $10,000 I have already in my budget for the last couple of years. It's in our capital budget to prepare for just such an event. And I asked them how soon they can have that, and I was told that by June 15th this work is going to be done. I wanted to do this because we're talking about potentially quite a bit of money to make replacements of water pipes and repairing the streets and so on that are above them. And I need to go out to find where we can get funding for this, and so that's why I want to get that high level letter from Earthman Anthony. They just wouldn't accept my own data here. There needs to be a PE, engineering company that needs that. So I'd like to make a motion to expend the $10,000 from my water fund capital account to ask the Earthman Anthony to come up with a improvement concept for our water lines. I'd like a second for that.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is this just a narrative?
It's
of
just a
sorts?
narrative.
Just a
yes.
narrative?
Narrative with some tables based on the data that we have taken over the last 2 years in the village here by both the water department and myself.
And so with that narrative, you expect to be able to maybe from that point assemble a plan, an improvement plan from that, a phased improvement plan?
Yes, what I plan to do is to find out from a grant writer, to interview some grant writers to see where we can get some money and then use that narrative in an application. Mm-hmm. Now, once we have that and we get some funding, and I probably could even fund from my own water department budget all the engineering work, and then I would go out for competitive bidding for the engineering work as well.
Okay. All those in favor?
Well, wait, let me just ask one more question.
Sure.
So this is a conceptual report, so it's going to say this area needs more work
Yeah.
than that area?
And this is what we can expect the costs on a very high-level basis.
What it would cost to fix
To fix
certain
it,
areas? Yeah.
And that would include, fixing the street, because you have to rip up the streets
Right.
and so on. It does not include the cost of laying new drainage system, for instance. Okay, but it's just water dependent, and it's only for the village, not for Rhinecliff.
Right, but to get a grant, would you need a more intensive engineering study?
No,
or
the point is that we go for grants so we can pay for an engineering study, more intensive and actually get drawings, and specifications and so on, and costs. for that. So this is like the initial blast off.
Will it also address maybe new and potential needs in the future? So in the case of, rather than just improving what we have, but also maybe allow for some growth?
Yes, and one of the things that I had asked our engineer was to take a look on how we can improve our network here, and among other things, we expected some growth in the gardens, for instance. We have that. I would like to connect that area to River Road. We have a main trunk line going up River Road, which measures about 12 inches, and that ends up dead. And so when we start the pumps up, there's always a lot of pressure buildup in these pipes. And by connecting this with, for instance, an area in the gardens or thereabouts, it would absorb some of the pressure. So that is going to be a part of that. But again, it's a concept on a conceptual basis.
And I assume they'd be setting priorities, telling us which are the things that need the most.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Fire department?
Well, I have one more thing. I usually at this point talk about power savings initiatives which I've sent to you separately. In July, this building here generated 3350 kilowatt hours. We consumed about 5200 kilowatt hours, so that 3350 kilowatt hours represents a saving of about $536 for the month of July. Also, I'm happy to report that we got a check today in the order of $9,187 from Viridian, $8,060 of which goes to the water department, because that's where the big users are, and that is a payback of money that we save by going on a fixed basis from Viridian, representing about a year's savings. Now, we had gotten previously $3,200, so we almost $12,500 we got back in our electrical bills, and that is all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott?
The monthly call volume breakdown for the fire department for the month of July. The fire department responded to 31 EMS calls in the town and 18 in the village for a total of 49. They responded to 15 fire calls in the town and 9 in the village for a total of 24. And for motor vehicle accidents, 2 in the town and 1 in the village for a total of 3. So the fire department responded to 76 calls in the month of July. It's a little bit more than 2 a day. It's quite a volume. That's it for the fire department.
And the annual total?
The annual totals are up to the end of July was 308 calls in the town, 262 in the village, for a total of 570 for the year.
I had a couple additions under the fire department in terms of the contract negotiation with the town. It should have been finalized last night at the town board meeting, but they had to reopen their public hearing. I guess it had been inadvertently closed a month or 2 ago, so that's been scheduled for the 25th, their public hearing, and from what I understand, we should be pretty much good to go at that point. There about the traffic light for out front, there's been numerous situations or complaints from the fire department that, as they're responding to a call or returning from a call, that vehicles are, encroaching on them. I've personally seen it a couple times. So they're going to be writing a letter to the state and requesting that there be a traffic control device out front here to block off for both when they respond exiting and then when they're backing back into the building.
How is that getting started?
It's going to be a letter from the fire department, from the chief.
No, that's not what I meant. Who has responsibility for the slide? And how does it get,
Because it's on the State Route 9, the state would be responsible for putting in, you're talking about the control
yeah.
of the device would typically be linked in somehow with inside the firehouse, like when the door went up, or somehow like then when the alarm went off when they were responding.
I understood it was going to be here.
Yeah,
You said, yeah, you said Route 9. That's
said
what I was
Route 9.
wondering. Did you mean?
I'm sorry.
Right here, right out front?
Yes, yeah. 308. Yeah, we haven't built the firehouse on Route 9 yet. That's coming.
Can we speak on the issue of the fire department?
Yes, sir.
My name is John Verricchio. I live at 47 Violet Place. And I'm sorry that I was out of town when the town meeting and the village meetings were regarding the contract for the fire department. I believe that everybody should have a say about what it costs them for services, and that should be accommodated. But I am opposed to the idea and the demand by the town board that the village of Rhinebeck give up control of its fire department that it's had for probably 150 years and go into consolidation with setting up a fire district and turning over the budgetary and all of the controls to a board of fire commissioners that are elected. But how many people would go and vote for fire commissioners or go to their budget hearings? Very few people come to these meetings. Very few people vote in regular municipal elections. Now, the town supervisor said that the village of Rhinebeck would be out of the fire business. That's what they're demanding. Well, I think it's a proper function of government, especially village and city government, to provide fire protection, provide police protection, provide municipal services, water, sewer, garbage pickup when it can be done, the other services that are needed, plowing, streets, and any other things that are for the safety of a close, combined suburban-type community. So therefore, I don't think the village of Rhinebeck should get out of the fire business. If the town needs to be accommodated for its costs so that they can have a say about what things cost, because I did watch the program of the town board meeting on Panda, and I heard the town supervisor say that she wanted to have more control over unforeseen costs and costs in general. And the town board members say that he wanted to better represent his constituents. Well, I don't know if they need to be reminded, but the 25 or so hundred people that live in the fire district, Rhinebeck Fire District, that live in the village are their constituents. And I don't think it's in the best interest what they're asking and demanding that we do. The village residents voted to buy this property. They voted to build this firehouse, and they paid for it, just like they did with the fire or the police department. And I will mention that later, but that's not for this issue. So I don't think that that's something that you should entertain, consolidation and turnover control, because it's not in their constituents' best interest who live in the village. I note that you said you wanted input from the village residents, and I hope many more of them come to these meetings and give their input, or when there are hearings, because I don't think this is in the best interest of either the town or the village. I can see what's happened in other areas and municipalities that have grown very much, like town of Poughkeepsie, and the problems with Fairview Fire District and Arlington Fire District. And what's the next big development area in the Rhinebeck Fire District would be in the town. The village is virtually built out except for the fairgrounds, and the fairgrounds is being rezoned. So with development will come decisions. And if you have to put paid firemen on with those obligations, then I think it's up to the municipal board to make those decisions, not a board of fire commissioners who have virtual taxing power. If they make the decision that you have a paid fire department, then all the residents in the village of Rhinebeck are going to pay for a paid fire department, whether it's necessary or whether they want it. So therefore, I think there's some serious decisions you have to make before you make commitments that in order for them to sign a contract for fire protection, that you have to meet their demands. If they want fire protection, they have to provide it for their constituents and for their residents. The village of Rhinebeck has provided fire protection for its people and will continue to do so, I believe, but not under demand or under duress. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you, John. Just to respond a little bit to that, before we do anything else, we would seek public opinion, and thank you for being the first to.
Go to referendum.
Yes, it would. Will they come out?
Being asked to them
Yeah,
of pitting one group against the other. I don't believe in doing that.
right. Well, we thank you for your comments and bringing it out now, and we would seek as much input from the public as we possibly can before any changes were made that would give up our fire department.
I believe you would.
Okay?
And it's going to be quite a while before this gets settled.
I
It's going to be quite a while before this gets settled.
understand that.
And you,
It's better we make some of the things we feel up front.
yeah. No, you said you didn't want us, we will entertain any idea like consolidation, but it doesn't mean that we support the idea. It means we'll look at it and we'll weigh and balance and we'll get public input. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Street Department, Howie?
Sure.
Hold that thought.
Fire Department.
I'll give these on to Scott.
These two additional ones from, okay. So I have before me two additional applications for us to consider for volunteer firemen. It's been recommended by Vice President of the Fire Department, Ken Scattergood, that we consider Stephen Marnell to be added as a newly elected member and be added to the village insurance upon our approval. Make a motion to accept Stephen Marnell.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Additionally, I have an application here from Ken Scattergood as well for Christopher Von Buskirk. He joined the Village Fire Department and be added to our insurance policy. I make a motion to accept Stephen Von Buskirk.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I want to say something about this.
About this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we all know how fortunate we are to have the volunteers that we do, and, this is the second month in a row that we've added 2 more volunteers, but there are, plenty more volunteers that go each and every day. I think I mentioned before that, they responded to 79 calls this month, and there are many, many guys, members that go to an awful lot of calls, and, to date, there are, probably 10 or 15 volunteers that go. There's some that go to every call, and there's some that go to, 75% of them or 50% of them. But we have the likes of Bill Vickery, who's been to 470 calls this year alone. And we're what, a little more than halfway through the year. So that's tremendous, and we're very appreciative to Bill, Tony Bowe, 323 calls. And John McGuire, and the list goes on and on. And I could name them all, and maybe I should, but there's a list of probably 40 or 50 of them that respond to all these calls that keep us protected. And I just, on behalf of the board, thank them all for their service.
Thank you. Highway Department. they picked up the brush on 7/15, and then they're saying 2 weeks later, the village needs to be picked up again. Mike wants to make the point that the brush is endless, the pickup needs, and we're working on something to help satisfy that. We're looking into a piece of equipment that might make everything easier. Mike spoke to a person who had a willow tree that fell into the stream, and we're waiting for things to dry out down there. The man has talked to a tree removal service to have it taken out, but we're all afraid of getting the equipment stuck down there right next to the stream. It's pretty wet down there still, and then it's going to rain tonight supposedly, so we'll see what happens. I know Heinz...
And we are also worried about that we're building another dam.
Right, but we don't want to get
We don't,
the
because we have
equipment
our
stuck.
water, we have our main water trunk line running under South Parsonage Street, and we don't want to back anything up there. So that's one of the reasons we want to get this out in a hurry.
Okay, the Highway Department repaired the catch basin at the end of Kramer Road. He wants to make a point, Mike does, that they use coarse blacktop to repair the deep potholes, and they use fine blacktop in the shallow holes. Most days when they're doing the blacktop, they work through the lunch to get the blacktop out as much as possible before it cools, and this is all done by hand. And also, all the road and basin repairs are done by hand. The rain has caused many washouts, and they're doing those repairs. We had a big project on the Asher Dam, which we might talk about later on, but Mike wants to make the point that the project engineer, Mr. Mannix, has been working at the dam with the project, and they both agree that the village is getting a quality job. That's it for the Highway Department.
I added on there a CHIPS update. Just wanted, we got the updated funding because we were awarded some more money for this year, which brings our total to just shy of 140,000. CHIPS is the Consolidated Highway Improvement
I don't know what...
fee for something.
Yeah, I know.
But
It's a
basically,
state
it's
agency.
money we get from the state that we can put towards road repair. So we have a project that'll be coming in for bid next week, later this week, the 15th, for Asher Road and Rockefeller Lane.
So we might have to have a special meeting to open those bids, or
No, they can be opened, but to award it,
to award the bid? Okay.
When are they coming in?
the 15th.
15th of August, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get on that, just to make sure we can get it done this year.
The bid package included a completion date of, I think, October 1st or thereabouts. So hopefully we'll see that project underway before the cold season hits.
We also have a plow. I think everybody has copies of the estimates. Snow
Yes.
plow Mike wants to buy for his used Ford pickup truck that we got a few months ago. We have 3 bids here, and he assures me these are all apples to apples. So I'd like to make a motion that we accept the lowest bid from Trailer King for $4,594.10.
I'll second it.
Did we
Discussion?
receive these in a, did we put out a bid packet for
No,
this?
no, we didn't.
No.
No, we didn't put out a bid package.
It's under the limit for the procurement.
We just try to get 3 estimates whenever we buy something.
Discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see. So one is for 4,594, the other one is 4,670?
46.
4,633, okay.
Right.
Oh, very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all pretty close.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh, well, we got to, we're looking
We're
at...
not ready for that?
No, we're not ready for that.
Okay. Planning and zoning?
monthly fees report for planning and zoning. The building department did 4 CO searches, took in $400. 8 building permits took in $1,065, and 3 certificates of occupancy took in $300. The planning board took in $75 for 1 sign application fee and $450 for 3 site plan application fees. The zoning board received $200 for an area variance application fee. And I'm not sure what the escrow figure, is that, I don't know. Sorry, I'm not sure if this is something we generally put in our monthly report.
Yeah, I don't think you need to report it.
Okay,
It's just
all right.
what's being held for different projects.
For engineering reviews and such.
Right, okay. That's,
There you go.
well, I was just going to say, just so people know, there's a committee that's been put together to look at possible changes in our zoning code. So that committee will start meeting in September. It'll be, a many-month process, but just letting the public know that we are looking at some of these changes have been recommended for a while, and we're going to try to do as much as we can at one time rather than do it piecemeal. So.
Well, we had, I thought, tentatively set up something for the first week in September, right? To start reviewing
Yeah,
some of the changes.
Yeah, and the committee is going to start meeting after Labor Day.
Oh, I know, I didn't mean the committee. I mean, over here, we review these.
Well, I think the previous board had started to assemble a list of some changes to the code. I think Gary and I are specifically talking about planning and zoning codes. I know that there are some additional codes that this board was looking into, or the previous board. And together, we're going to make one, should we agree on all those changes, we're going to make one change at one time to the total code.
Absolutely. The
We're
question,
speaking just about planning and zoning, not about the others.
but we have to get it through a lawyer, we have to go to public hearing and all of this, and we want to do that all this year.
So they're going to put together the package of information that would go out to the public hearing and to be for legal review.
So do we have a target when we want to do that?
Well, we were waiting for, with different vacations and such, the different people that were available to do, or that wanted to be a part of this from planning, and then the ones from zoning weren't all available at the same time. So we were waiting till after Labor Day to assemble them.
Okay.
So we really had not met yet. It's people that had been part of these committees and over previous years. So it's just a matter of bringing everyone together. I think after that meeting, we'll decide then and there the timeframe of which we can do it.
Let me just tell you my sensitivity to this is, we had an audit by the state, and we had promised them that in the water department, not anywhere else, to make certain changes on the code, and I have done most of them. I have not sent them to the lawyer yet, but I just want to make sure, we had promised them we would do that, sometime this year.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that we don't, because the things drag out.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. I wonder if there are any other ones that are out lingering that we don't necessarily know about that are time critical.
Well, mine is kind of time.
Yours
critical.
is.
Yeah.
It may be, I know it's probably more cost effective to make one big change to the
That's
code
what we
book.
wanted to do, because
Right.
we have to reprint everything,
We'll see after our first meeting whether we think it's doable on our part. If it doesn't seem to be, then it would make sense for you to do yours if you're ready to go separately. But we'll let you know after our...
Tell me if I'm wrong, going to the attorney is one step, and then it would be the state, there'd be a whole
No,
other
then
process.
we have to go to a public hearing.
Right.
That's just, the attorney is just to have the right words.
I'm saying, but yours could be reviewed by the attorney.
Sure,
now.
separately.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Fees? A couple of months ago, our building inspector / zoning enforcement officer had come before this board and let us know that our fee schedule for building department or for building permits and zoning and planning applications was outdated, and
maybe a little bit light as far as collecting fees and funds. He reviewed a lot of the other municipalities surrounding ours and came back to this board and said, you know, that definitely was the case. He put together an updated fee schedule, circulated it a couple of meetings ago. I think we've all had a chance to see him. I have experience with this. I work in a lot of other municipalities. I see the fees. And, you know, I would be in agreement to raise these fees. It's not much of a raise, but it will bring us more in line with some of the other fees and some of the other municipalities in and around us.
So you want to adopt them?
I would like to adopt them. I'd like to make a motion to adopt these fees as proposed.
And you're cool with them?
I am good with them. They are in line with our surrounding.
Yeah. They still
Is it-
leave us below.
Do we have a second before
Most of- second.
discussion?
Okay.
Second for Miles. Discussion.
They still leave us below most other municipalities in the area, I think, in every instance, I believe.
One of the arguments that was said was that we have the lowest fees in the county. I don't think that's just a reason to raise fees, though. I think that maybe we have a vibrant downtown compared to other villages in the county. Maybe it's because we have low fees.
I'm not so sure a couple $100 here or there are going to make a difference in whether we have a vibrant downtown community. I know that these additional fees will help support the planning and zoning and building department, maybe in a way where we can update some of the things that they do. I know the activity in those departments there's a lot of activity in that department, and I think that these fees will help with maybe some of the making it more efficient there, and maybe with some of the new programs we can bring in.
And defray some of the costs.
Yeah. No. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Opposed.
No.
Effective.
September 1st.
Police report for July, there were 123 incidents, 54 tickets, and 5 arrests. We are lucky enough to have Sergeant Dunn with us tonight. Do you have anything to add to that?
Don't have that report.
Okay, well, we get to the next step. Moving on to committee reports, that would be the tree commission. Got anything for us, Gary?
The Tree Commission has on its docket 9 removals, 4 prunings that have been approved. Two of the 4 prunings are going to be done by the owner. But moving forward, the key issue confronting the Tree Commission, or actually confronting the board, is the cost of the removals. And I want to recommend that we establish, set a date, establish a new policy where for a year, the cost of tree removal would be shared between the village and the homeowner. And then after a certain amount of time, to be determined by the board, then the cost would be borne by the homeowner. Up till now, for people's information, the village has been bearing most, if not all, of the cost of pruning and removals, and the number of requests have just been coming in at a pace that we cannot sustain. I don't know if the board is prepared to take action right now, but I feel I wanted to put that in front of everybody, and we can vote now if people like. Otherwise, vote next time. But I think we need to move forward with that and set some dates.
Well, I think we need to have a defined schedule as to what the breakdown was going to be, when the date was going to start,
Okay.
when it was going to transition. So let's have a policy.
Okay. I guess
policy, and we'll go with that.
I guess I was looking for some feedback on that, because a change like this, there's no imminent, it's not like we're okay for the moment, but it's simply unsustainable. So we could, I'm happy to make a recommendation that as of January 1st, we go to a 50-50 share with homeowners and set a 2-year period, and then 2 years after that, the cost will be borne by the homeowner.
Now, we had to set a budget, right, for this, for tree removal. And
Yeah, we have a
where do we stand on the budget? I mean, this is the thing that's going to sort of
I think
tells us where to stop.
right. I think we're okay for this year, but just barely. And if the rate continues, we
What I
would.
mean is, based on the budget, that'll tell you at what point in the year you're going to stop.
I understand, but that's what I'm saying. That the pace, the rate is not sustainable according to our budget.
Yeah, we always
will-
go over budget. Yeah,
we-
on
we-
tree
we-
removals.
Well,
We
can't
continually
over budget.
go-
We have a cap here.
Well, that's why when we
that's
hit
why-
June 1st, we had 14 trees that were waiting for this budget year. So.
Right.
So, are we changing the law? Do we have to have a public hearing?
Well, we found nothing in the law. In other words, I assumed there was something in the code that obligated the village to assume the responsibility for paying, but we haven't found any, and it's not there. It's really a policy. So, at least from the feedback I got from the attorney, it's not a law, it's a policy, so it's up to us if we want to amend that policy.
Just to be clear, these are the trees that are in a right-of-way.
Right.
It's
Right.
not
These are
trees
not-
that are in your backyard.
Right, right.
So if there's currently 9 that are scheduled to be taken down,
Right.
is there money to do those 9?
I believe there is. This is before the last tree commission meeting. I think there may be 3 or 4 others that are there, and I don't have the
I
details on
think we
that.
might have just enough money this year to take these
Why
down.
don't we
That's it.
find out what it is that we have?
Right. Well, and the thing that I'm worried about too is that if we extend it, we wait
Yes.
until January 1st, then are we going to have a rush of
Yes.
trees that need to be
So-
taken down between now and
Just make
January?
it effective now,
Right.
if we're going to do it.
Well, I'm recommending going 50-50 as a transition step for the homeowners, because to some extent, homeowners have become accustomed to this, so I would recommend that looking at it from that point of view, it would make sense to go to a 50-50 arrangement.
But even at a 50-50 arrangement, if we are at our budget limit right now, and we're doing 50-50, then we're over budget for any other tree that gets added to that list.
Right, but
Yeah.
we'd be minimizing our exposure by half, and then, we can,
Okay, Gary, what does it take to take a look at the budget and see how much money we have left for it? And then make a decision on that?
only takes for me to do it. I'm happy to do that and come back the next meeting if that's,
Okay.
Well, regardless, we're either going to be 50% over or 100% over
Right.
at the end. So.
When it comes to taking down the trees, do we get a professional opinion?
the tree commit, homeowners have to apply for a permit. They have to come through the village.
Right.
So the tree commission, and I think everybody feels we're very fortunate to have a great deal of expertise on the tree commission, and I think it's good for the village to continue that, no matter, we're just talking about payment that we do. In the long run, I think we would like to have someone perhaps from the highway department. We do have a member of the highway department who's taken an interest and has attended some workshops, to have someone who is increasing his expertise, perhaps could become a recognized arborist. Many municipalities, larger than us, have an arborist on staff who can make these calls.
And the tree commission does, on occasion, recommend a consultation with an
Right,
arborist, and they have come in and looked at trees and given us
Right.
guidance when the tree commission was not
Right.
sure.
They ever said no?
To take the
Yes,
tree down?
all the
Yes.
time.
Okay.
Couple over on
Well, never mind.
I think quite a few homeowners,
Yeah.
you know, are told that their tree is not as much of a risk as they thought
Right.
it was.
And maybe it's just comforting to know that, have someone.
Yeah.
So do you want to put that in the form of a motion for January 1st, September 1st? What?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm looking for,
Okay.
you know, I want to move in that direction. I mean, I think Scott's point is a good one. I don't foresee I don't foresee a big rush. On the other hand, it might lead, you know, so I think it's something we need to do. So I'll move that we, effective September 1st, that our policy would be to share the cost of removal at 50/50 with homeowners. And the same for pruning.
As an interim step or as a final solution? When you make the
And
motion,
right, and this would be understood,
Let's just leave it
this
open-ended.
would be an interim step. We can leave it open-ended for now. We don't have to put an end date
Would
on
it make
that.
sense to do it, if it's an interim step, would it make sense to do it immediately?
That any applications that are already in would be
Anything after the current one?
grandfathered, right?
Would you like to reword your motion?
I move that we amend our policy for tree removals and prunings that would be a 50/50 sharing between the village and the homeowner. And it would be, well, just leave it at that. We'll amend the policy again if necessary.
Effective immediately.
Effective immediately.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Good. So on to our special requests. The first one is the event application from Sinterklaas. There has been some, we tabled this last month because we didn't have the input from the fire and police department, which is part of our event application review. Right now, as it stands, there's some question as to the number of attendees. I'll let Pete speak here in a moment, but I guess in dispute is if it's more than 5,000 people attending an event, they needed a mass gathering permit, which comes through the county health department. So Sergeant Dunn, his estimate is that we are in excess of 5,000 people last year, and traditionally the event has grown. And from what I understand, the sponsors of Sinterklaas maybe don't think that there were quite that many people there, but I'll let Sergeant Dunn speak to that.
Has everybody gotten the event application for the Sinterklaas event? And looked
Yes.
at it over? Yes? Okay. So some of the questions I have that have come up, let me just go over the event application first. Basically, number 3, the village and its designated departments and agencies review the application and may require additional information to be provided. The village will notify the sponsor in writing of the decision 120 days prior to the event. So some of the questions I have is, 4, the village may impose conditions in an approved application which deems necessary to protect the public and ensure the well-managed event. So last year, in our estimate, and the police department's estimate, there was well over 5,000 people at the parade itself, between Center Street and the Star Library. So that is one of my concerns. So I have reached out to the county health department and talked to them. They've also provided me today with public functions law, attendance over 5,000 or more people. It's 18.3, and that goes into a bunch of standards that would have to be met. Now, a mass gathering permit, which I've learned today, is 5,000 people. It's also an event of more than 24 hours, 24-hour event. This isn't a 24-hour event.
is it 5,000 at 24 hours or?
For a mass gathering permit, correct. But this underneath the public functions attendance of over 5,000 or more people through the county, if you have more than 5,000 people, this is for basically a parade or a public event. So this isn't a mass gathering. These are some of the requirements that you have to fulfill to have an event over 5,000 people. And it goes from 5,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 15,000. There's some requirements in here which the county provided me today. So my question is, and I sent an email to the mayor prior to last week, was that I had some questions basically to say, you know, what are some of the requirements of this that the Santa Claus people are going to provide? And so I started to read the application today, and there's some things I have questions on. On their event application, they put on here estimated attendance 5,000 people. We believe that there's well over 5,000 people at the event. In the letter they addressed to the village, they're saying 3,500 plus. So there's a discrepancy there on the attendance. Basically, what we've done over the last several years is we've gotten assistance through the state police to help us pull this event off. Because Route 9 has to be shut down for a certain period of time to have the event start to Star Library and come down to the municipal lot, it takes more officers than we have that we employ here in the village. So some of the other questions I have here, and I was going through here about, she's saying that they're estimating 5,000 people. So that right then and there on our event application, some of the questions I have are, you know, some of the extra personnel that may be needed for law enforcement purposes, for traffic.
I'm sorry, say that again?
For law enforcement purposes, like for traffic detail. Like I spoke to the mayor today, when the state police are here, if they have to leave the event to go to another call, that leaves us short. So because of the amount of people that we had last year, my concern is some of the things in the letter that she's mentioned. And if everybody read the letter or that she sent, so first of all, this was dated June 6th, and they said they would like to have a request a meeting with the folks mentioned above as soon as possible, ensure that we make our plans together early so everyone can move forward in a timely manner. And then some of the requests in here about closing also West Market Street to parking, I have some concerns about, which was highlighted here. This year, we'd like to request that the same policy go into effect for West Market Street between the Chestnut Funeral Home and Route 9. That is have no parking after 3 p.m. on West Market Street between Chestnut Funeral Home and Center Street. So basically, you're talking from Oak Street all the way down to here on that side of the light, right? I don't know if anybody's reached out to the community and the other businesses or has any feeling from them and what they feel about that. It doesn't say they have in here. I know some of the businesses last year were concerned. The signs were put up last year by the village for the street to be closed from Center Street to the traffic light, and it was listed the hours. And then some of the businesses complained that people couldn't park in front of the businesses to go to the restaurants or the shops. So that was one of the complaints that we had. Let's see what else we have.
Can I just say something to that?
Yeah.
A lot of the businesses were happier last year because the street was open all day.
Right.
They didn't care if they couldn't park there after 3 or not.
Okay.
They were receptive to that.
Receptive to that? Okay.
Yeah.
So Pete, let me ask you, how did you determine the $5,000?
Well, we had officers on,
5,000
we had officers on foot and also on bike patrol, and I just had officers start counting people the best they could, and they got high enough to say, listen, you know, I've lost count of people. We didn't have somebody with a counter. There's no tickets sold, but with the amount of people between Center Street and up to the top of the hill, we're estimating over 5,000 people.
So it could have been 4,500?
Could have been 4,500. But we're estimating between here and the top of the hill, with all the people also in the parade and the people that drive all the cars here to see the parade, they also get into the parade and follow it into the municipal lot.
And the primary time there is between 5:30 and
Correct,
7.
6, right. And
6.
and some of the requests they have in here for no parking, so they have some times in here, and these are not realistic times, because you have to remember, to have the event, you're closing Route 9 and State Route 308, which are two state roads, main thoroughfare through the municipality. It's a danger, and you have a hospital just inside, you know, in the northern part of the village. So we redirect the traffic around the event, and some of these times.
And we did that successfully in the last few years.
We did, right. And what happened is the event has grown to the point where more and more people come. So what we've been doing is we've been marking streets the week before on alternate sides, no parking, because what happened 2 and 3 years ago is people parked because there were issues with leaves, push cars further out, and the streets got narrow. And what happened was emergency vehicles, larger vehicles, couldn't get through. We had vehicles had to back up certain streets in order to get to another street. So I don't want to cause that situation again. I want to make sure the streets are clear. So some of these times on here of closing the streets I have concerns with, because you can't close the street down. If the parade doesn't start till 6, which usually starts a couple minutes after, and it takes 45 minutes to an hour to go from the Star Library to the municipal lot, you're not just closing the street for that hour, you're closing it a half hour prior to. So to redirect traffic for an hour and a half off of Route 9 and 308 around the village is very difficult, especially at night in the dark. And with the amount of traffic you have already, the people coming to the event, it makes the streets a lot narrower.
But you did a wonderful job doing this.
No, I do.
I've been in it
Right.
3
Yeah,
times.
and I don't think you, sorry to interrupt, but I don't think you closed the street for a half hour before the parade
No,
started.
we didn't close Route 9 until it got to the point probably 15 minutes prior to the event this past year. Because what happened is there was so much pedestrian traffic in the center of the village, we had to close the road. It was dangerous at that point. You have to close the road and give it enough time for the other cars to get out of the way before you start the event. So you have to have some lead time. Some of these requests in here, which I haven't met with her, I haven't even talked to her since last year, I'd like to sit down and talk to them and say, listen, these are not doable, we need to sit down and discuss
That's what I
this.
was going to suggest, is that maybe you sit down, maybe you, Heath, and
Yeah,
the organizers here, and have a workshop.
Yeah.
And just go down through and change these things as you see fit, and maybe to be safer.
Right.
And see, how that works within their plan, and maybe you can come up with a,
And I think we also, what is it that you really need?
Well, here's the thing. The event has gotten so large. It's the length of time and as large as it has gotten. It's the amount of people in this 3-block radius here. And what happens is you become, nobody can move. You can't get around very well, especially vehicles. There are no vehicles. We keep everybody out. And I was away last week, and I was talking to the mayor today. I realized today that CVS has now, or the property owners over there, have closed off the way to get through to CVS over to the Frontier parking lot. They have concrete pillars in, pylons. So we've always had people who have been trapped during the event so cars don't come out and hurt anybody. We've turned them around and sent them out the back way. They can no longer do that as of...
With a car, but I can't do it.
Right, you can walk, but you can't take the car. So we've had people who, before the event starts, they get trapped in there, they just turn around and go back out the other way. They can't do that now. So that's one of the things for any of the events we have. People are going to have to realize that they can't go through there. It's their property, they can do what they want. And I have some other questions here about this. So what I'd like to do is obviously have a meeting. I talked to Rich Olson today. He sent me a copy of the mass gathering permit law, the actual wordage, and then also I got from...
Here's the question is, are we really in a mass gathering environment here?
Now, what we are is a public function with over 5,000 people.
Well, but we don't really know whether it's 5,000 people or not.
Well, you have to recognize that when the Santa Claus application came in, they themselves estimated the attendance at 5,000 people.
Yeah, but that says there from 5 to 8 o'clock.
That's
It's not
peak
24
attendance.
hours like the mass gathering
Right.
law says.
And I'm now looking at the public functions law through the county.
We don't have that. You got that today?
I got it today, late today.
Yeah.
So I can give you a copy of this,
Yeah.
and it spells everything out. So what I'm saying is, you have to provide certain facilities, bathrooms, medical staff, if you're going to have more than 5,000 people for a public gathering, okay? I'm not talking mass gathering permit, I'm talking this now. So, and I haven't even had a chance to show the attorney yet. So I'd like to sit down and talk to him and say, listen, these are the requirements on the county level if you're going to have X amount of people. Because if you don't provide this type of coverage and you have that many people and something does happen, and I also have some questions in here about the insurance. I don't know if the village, they're asking that the village take on the responsibility of the liability insurance, not Santa Claus. So I don't know if that's something you've addressed with the attorney either. They're asking to be, your event application says they will do it, but they're asking you to take on that responsibility. So that also needs to be addressed, just legally.
I was under the impression that the county doesn't regulate parades because they can't figure out how many.
They don't regulate the parade, they leave it on the municipality, but when you have a gathering of 5,000 people or more, there are these standards.
That's the parade, though.
Parade, public
The parade is
event.
the one that might have the 5,000 people.
Right.
We don't have 5,000 people in the downtown all day long.
Not all day long, no.
For half an hour or
Right.
so.
But if you've been here and you've seen it,
Yeah, I've been involved with it.
you've been involved, so you've
Been
seen the
going
amount
on.
of people, right.
Yeah.
And the complaints are, and they're also, and the reason they're asking for all those vehicles to now be no parking on from the light to the top of the hill is because of the amount of people.
Right, that's where the parade goes out.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's also,
So Pete, let me ask the question again. What is it that you need?
but what I'm looking for before I'm willing to sign off on this is extra help with this event.
Yeah, that's what I mean. What is it
I'm
that
looking
you need?
for, if the state police can't provide it, you'll have to go to the sheriff's office, we'll have to contact them and provide the extra coverage for the manpower to pull this off. If that's the case, I want to know, and I said this to the mayor, Is the village paying for that, or is Santa Claus paying for that? Is that coming out of my budget, your budget, or is she paying for that? The other events that we do in the village, some of the organizations, except for the Memorial Day Parade, they pay for the police, correct?
It would be nice to know what it might cost, and what additionally would you like to have? I mean,
Well, what additionally, if we're going to have this event, is probably at least another 6 officers with patrol units to try to pull this event off safely.
For what length of time?
Well, you're talking probably from
hours?
at 4 o'clock until 8 o'clock, at least a 4-hour minimum from 4 to 8, because that's really when stuff gets going. I mean, last year, we had so many people in the intersection, we had to stop traffic manually with 4 officers out in the intersection just to control the traffic light, because the pedestrians weren't following the crosswalk signals. Because you had so many people in the middle of the intersection, they were just crossing whenever they wanted to, and you had still vehicles, the road was open. So what I'm trying to do is make it safer for the pedestrians in the village.
So when you meet with Jeannie and Pat and whoever else there is,
Right.
will you have some kind of an outline of what it is that you need in terms of manpower support
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
on?
Yeah, well,
And what, for us, what the cost of this is?
I can do that. I can't give you an exact number with the sheriff's office because they can never tell you.
That's what worries me.
You must have a rough idea, though.
I can
No,
get,
you never know.
Well, I'm just saying,
We went through that number of times.
$150 an hour, $100 an hour?
I can get you a ballpark, but I can't tell you because of the way their structure's set up.
Right.
When you tell them, hey, I need X amount of officers, they can't tell you who it's going to be and what their rates are going to be. And it depends on overtime and there's so many different calculators. We've been through this. You know, they charge the sheriff's office charges the fairgrounds when they do the traffic at the fair. The bill comes here and then, you know.
How many
fairgrounds
state
pays it.
police guys did we have?
We normally get 3, but what's happened is they'll pull all 3 cars. They have 3 cars on. They'll give us all 3. But if one has to leave, I have to backfill. So if I have one closed Route 9 north of the village, one closed Route 9 south, and I close Route 308 here, I still have to have multiple. So if one has
What's
to
happened in
leave,
the past?
if officers leave, I have to backfill with our
What has
officers.
happened in the past 3 or 4 times?
We've had 1 or 2 troopers have to leave,
Have to leave.
and then I have to take the officers that are downtown here and move them out. So I have less patrol here to handle the situations that are going on in the village, right directly here for the parade. So,
So who is going to, I'm sorry.
Carry on.
so basically, I'm looking for more help.
I know.
Sit down with them, and maybe include Henry Campbell, also the emergency management coordinator. Sit down, try to get this ironed out. It's,
And
you
when you
know,
want to do that?
as soon as possible, because the application says 180 days. She wrote the letter June 6th, which is 180 days. So we need to get going on this as soon as
Today is
possible.
the 12th, we could potentially have another meeting on the 14th, 15th, right? For the Azure, can you,
I mean, not necessarily on the 15th, but we'll be opening the bids on
4
it.
months until the first part of the event.
So,
Not that
yeah.
far off.
Yeah.
Right, so we could
So-
set something up based on their availability as soon
yeah,
as
but you would have to meet her before that.
she's
Yeah,
available.
we'll meet with them when they're
Yeah.
available.
I mean, I have the fair next week, which makes it difficult because I'm very busy. As soon as the fair is over, you know,
Can't do it before.
try, as long as they're,
Well, at least meet with them.
yeah,
before.
sure.
They told us that they're very busy tonight, but a lot of stuff, we
Right.
didn't know
Right.
what's going on. So that would be nice if you could meet with them next.
But you're
couple of
okay
days.
with the street closing plan as it was last year?
As it was last year, yeah. I need to go over all these times that they're asking for in this
So that's
letter
kind
they
of-
wrote, not the event application itself, and the letter they wrote to you based on asking all these different things, which more should have been in the event application, not, you know, so we know.
So outside of the additional people that
Restrooms.
you need, restrooms.
Restrooms need to be addressed. The last several years here at the Village Hall, it's been overwhelming here at the Village Hall and the Town Hall, and people are asking our officers on the street where they can go, because the restaurants only cater to the people who go there and eat, and they don't let people in to use the
Right, and
restrooms.
only the people who know where they are, where the
Right,
restrooms are.
and that seemed to be, at least for our point, a lot of people were asking us where they could go, so. that
Well, let's
becomes-
let Rich review the county public, what's that?
Yeah,
called? The
it's come public
gathering?
health law, it's 18.3.
Can we get a copy of that?
Yeah,
So we'll let him take a look at that, and obviously our concern is the public safety and, you know.
Yeah, and that's what
there's
it
a lot of
always
people
is.
there, and we want to make sure that we can keep everybody safe.
Okay.
And we'll,
yeah, we can get a meeting as soon as possible, you know, as soon as everybody can sit down and they're available, so we can discuss it.
But you're saying you can't really do it next week?
Well, from Tuesday on, I can't.
No,
Not-
you can do it this week, though.
We might be able to.
Yeah, still a few
Okay,
days
we'll
left.
see if
this
they're
week, but-
available, and
Yeah.
Pat will reach out to them.
Tuesday through Sunday,
Put it together.
it's not possible with the fair. Yeah.
So how many people do you have tied up with the fair?
Well, we have extra shifts, but it's the call volume comes up.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Well, I know,
Yeah, everybody
but we're gonna
works,
do it
it's just
in a
different
public
shifts.
When you meet
But
the
because of the call
organizers,
volume with the fair,
You're gonna go,
it's just too busy.
one of us.
Depending on when it is.
So,
Okay.
So who's gonna organize the meeting between the Santa Claus
You're
group
going to get a
and
hold of
yourself?
Gene Fallon?
well, I'll work with Pat, and she can make some contacts, I can make contacts. It'll be Heath and Henry and
Okay.
Jean and her people, as soon as we can.
Okay,
Great.
Right?
good.
Right?
Pete.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have a request from the American Legion Ladies Auxiliary for the Halloween Parade to step off at 2 o'clock on Sunday, October 26th. I'd like to make a motion to approve that application as submitted.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that a mass gathering?
No.
Ask Pete.
Halloween parade, yeah, it's good. We're all set for Halloween parade.
Okay.
Pat, did we get the application from the school district?
We did.
We did, okay. So that did not make it in by the deadline, but their request is September 12th. They want to hold a welcome back to school block party at the mini park.
Are we invited?
Let's go mini park. Yes, we are invited. I believe it says so, right on the request, and you have a complete application?
The insurance is coming tomorrow.
Okay.
So if it wasn't
So I'd like to make a motion to approve that request pending the arrival of the insurance certificate.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have a request from the Republican Party to use the Village Hall on September 13th, I believe at 10 a.m. for their caucus.
Like Saturday, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that request as submitted.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
seconded.
Scott did. Scott.
The last special request is from the Church of the Messiah for the Mad Dash road race for Monday, September 1st. I'd like to make a motion that we accept that application or approve that application as submitted.
Second?
Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We already did that.
Moving right along.
Moving right along, onto the other business section here, Asher Dam. The work is almost complete at Asher Dam. The lake should be filling back up. They completed repairs to the face of the dam, both parapets, and installed riprap on the west bank. It's all complete except for the ladder. We have an access ladder that's being installed. There's been pads poured for that, both the top and the bottom. So that's pending arrival of the ladder, but otherwise all the structural work is done. We did lower the water level again this morning for a short period because we had a FEMA inspection. So they were here. We had a representative from the State Emergency Management, and that relates to our funding, which goes back to Hurricane Irene. So we took him through the whole process, took him down, showed him the progress that we've made. The work on the pedestrian bridge has also been completed with the exception of the painting of the railing, which is underway, the prep work the last couple days. Our street department have been scraping and sanding and prepping, so we'll be moving along.
That'll be in next month's report.
Yes, yes, it will be. So they'll be priming it and then painting it a color to be determined. So if anyone has any strong feelings about what they want that color,
I think a dark green.
Okay. I think dark
I know
green.
you like
black,
red.
Fire engine red, or show it off.
Green sounds great.
Dark green, I like it. The accessible crosswalks.
I just want, before we
Yes.
go off, I just want to make a brief statement. I really appreciate the leadership of our mayor here, Heath, in getting this wonderful dam repaired. This was an awful-looking place just a few weeks ago, and because of his perseverance and initiative, I think we got this thing built and fixed in such a way that it becomes now a huge attribute and focus of the village. And once we get some of the brush cleaned there, we can actually see it from Route 9. And I personally want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your leadership on this.
Well, thank you, Mr. Sauer.
Good job.
Thank you. So the accessible crosswalks, we had those installed in front of M&T Bank and also over by the bagel shop. Those are completed. There's a short punch list of, the curbs still need to be painted yellow, and there's a couple missing signs, but that project is completed and should not interrupt the flow of traffic anymore. Village Hall front door, we have been talking about potentially installing some automatic door openers to improve our accessibility. I know there was a question about if we had adequate width. According to our building inspector, we are good to go with that. It does meet the ADA standards.
That's with one door opening up, right?
Yeah, the one side would be the right side would open. There'd be an opener for each door to get you through the breezeway.
And you need something built out so somebody in a wheelchair can...
Yeah, there'd be a post out
Post out
on the ramp so they could hit it on the way in.
That's quite expensive, isn't it?
I don't, do we have the estimates?
These?
You still have?
Yeah.
What are the?
Door.
Are they in?
They're in your
Oh, yeah,
package.
I'm looking at them right there.
Yeah, they're right.
All right.
$4,595 and $4,314. The only issue with these is that this doesn't get you a complete package. You need to run power to those locations in order to operate these.
Oh, these don't include the,
No.
okay.
So even not at $500 or so.
All right, this was only on there for discussion anyway. Do we want to hold it and get an electrical estimate so we have the whole?
Then we'll have the whole
package
yeah.
done,
And these
so-
guys typically wouldn't do the electrical work anyway.
Okay.
They would install the
Is that
controllers.
Is this installed, these numbers?
These are installed.
Yes.
They're installed.
Yeah. Are they're plug-ins? Is that what they're?
Yeah.
Okay, they're not hardwired? They go.
Well, they may very well be hardwired, but
We have to provide the
Right.
box to,
right.
it says has a transfer fitting. Okay. So we'll table that, and, I mean, is it something that we want to proceed with? We see
Well, what are we going to do?
Okay,
Get
for-
estimates from three electricians?
I don't think we need that.
Is it a
I think it's
project
probably
that-
a few $100 or so.
Yeah. Is it a project that we want to undertake? Any opinions,
Well,
thoughts?
let me ask you, Pat, how many people are coming here in a wheelchair?
It's not only people in a wheelchair, it's people that have a cane, people that are on crutches, people that are older that have a hard time opening those doors because they're very heavy.
That's the issue, right?
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the issue. We
It's
have-
less wheelchair accessible and more for, pedestrians.
Right,
that-
we have a lot of elderly people in the village that come into the village hall, and it's difficult. I mean, Chrissy and I have both had to get up numerous times to open the door and hold it.
So it's not wheelchair,
It's not just wheelchair. It is just it's still handicap accessibility.
So do we have to get an electrician, or can we just approve this
To
tonight?
approve it?
And then- Because we have an electrician we use all
Yes,
the
we do.
time. and-
Oh, we have one?
Yes, we have an electrician that,
Jonas?
no, we contract regularly with an electrician. I'll make the motion to proceed with the installation of the accessible door openers from New England Door Closer Incorporated for $4,314.
Second.
Discussion.
Have you reviewed both of these, and these are apples to apples, Howie? I haven't, I'm not ready to make a decision.
No, I haven't reviewed them.
Well,
You want to table it? We'll table it. If you want to spend more
unless
time.
somebody says, no, we got to know which one we want, otherwise we can't pass the motion.
I mean, they were given to us by John, and he had reviewed them. And John Raimondo, our maintenance individual for the Village Hall.
What's the range of them?
The what?
What's the range of costs for this?
Oh, 4314 and 4595.
I think there's a lot more to this than just a matter of getting the openers.
Okay. Do you want to look into this and bring it back to
Because I
us with
think
a
where
recommendation?
we're going to have a problem is with the locking mechanism.
Yeah.
Is that if because they manually lock
Yep.
these doors, and if someone hits the opener and they're still manually locked, we'll end up with broken openers.
Yeah,
So
right.
typically, these type of openers have a magnetic lock, and of which is triggered.
So we will table the motion. Scott will bring us
I will
a
table.
recommendation at our next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. The next one, the Lions Club Mini Park. What I wanted to mention there is that they've been doing some work on it, and they want to reinstall the fence that was taken down when we did the South Parsonage paving. And they were looking for some guidance in terms of what kind of fence. It was a split rail fence in the past,
That looked nice.
so. Everyone's in favor of the split rail fence? Okay, we'll give them the go-ahead to reinstall the split rail fence.
What are they using, cedar or?
Oh,
I don't think they do. I think it's just pine.
yeah, yep.
Because the last one, excuse me, the last
Sorry.
one corroded quite easily and broke off. That's why, well, plus the snowplow. But if you just use pine, and I assume it's treated pine, they last maybe 4 or 5 years, and then they
Yellow pine, I think it's a little bit stronger than like a white pine, but I don't think it's.
It should last a little more than
Cedar.
4 or 5 years, but,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's set off the road enough that we should not be crushing it with our plows, but. The next one on there is the Legion Park at Crystal Lake. I just wanted to bring that up. Like Heinz said, that little area has kind of been my passion, and I'd like to see us, revitalize that area. The monument that's there is in rough shape. The park itself, even up by the face of the lake there, and where the picnic table. So basically, just like to start the discussion now that we're going to have that beautiful bridge done, and we're going to hopefully get our highway guys to clear out some of the brush so we can see the waterfall, to kind of bring that park back to all its glory. So if there's somebody out there that wants to volunteer
Well, there is a
to
guy
work
out
on
there.
this, yes, there's one.
Yes,
Yes.
we have a name. And-
Okay.
And there's some people on the tree commission, I don't want to give them any
Yes.
more work because they do a lot of work, but they're interested in that project also.
They had started some clearing up there in the past. They removed some of the dead stuff along the stream bed downstream of the dam over the past couple of years, and there'd been some talk about restoring some of the walking trails that, it's not a big distance, but a trail that goes down so you can look over the dam and the stream bed there. And we actually have some, thanks to Mr. Mannix, we have some historical drawings and photos. I believe Scott has some of those too.
I do.
To give us maybe a plan as to what to bring it back to.
There's one more small thing on that waterfall, on the dam. The other day I was there, I think it was on a Monday or Tuesday, there were some huge trees, dead trees, spilled over the dam, and they're lying there. And I'm just wondering if every once in a while, maybe the street department can go down there and pull the big, I'm not talking about the little stuff that goes over there. There's a lot of debris, going over there. That there is.
Yeah.
And, but the big things we ought to take out. And I'm talking about, 20-foot length of 3-inch or 4-inch diameter branches. Where
That have come over the dam?
they come over the dam, yeah.
Yeah. So we need to have them clean it out.
Yeah.
Because
Couple
if
times
you
a year.
ever have a flood or something like that, the water dynamics impede the flow of the water. And it's a beautiful place, what they did on the top there with this circular thing. Nice place to sit.
So we're moving on to page 2 now. We already addressed the first one, master escrow, earlier. We have a request from the clerk to close the village hall on the 21st of August, which is next Thursday. We'd had a couple cases of water damage where we had water coming into the vault in the basement. So there's records all over the place that need to be reorganized and refiled. So that we'd like to use the manpower within the building, close it for a day and have them all kind of pitch in, because everybody has records down there. The court, on that given day, the court clerk, planning and zoning clerk, everyone will be here for the day. Put them all to work and bring it all.
I think we also have our records from the last 150 years.
Yes.
Right? In the same
Yes.
place.
Some of them were back into the 1800s that were, got damaged with the water leaking in.
Have we fixed the source of the influx of the water?
Yes, John fixed the source of the influx.
Is it, that's the week of the fair? Is there any real reason to have to do it that week? Is there any need to have the village hall open during the week of the fair?
It's usually, I chose that day because it's usually quieter here in the village hall the week of the fair. We usually don't get as many people coming in. So I thought it would be before something else happens, I wanted to address it as soon as possible.
And the police don't need to be, they have their own
Yeah.
building? And
They have a key, they can come in if they need to, and we are here.
You're in the cellar.
We'll be in the cellar.
Yeah, any kind of emergency, they'll still be here, just
Yeah.
won't be open for regular business. So if you have a water payment or something you need to drop off, you want to wait till
There's a
the
drop
next
box
day.
for any correspondence,
Yes.
any mail, any of that.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the closure of the village hall for normal business on Thursday, 8/21.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one on here, the park across the street over here in front of the municipal lot. If you don't know, that's called Dewitt-Grinnell Park. There you go. That's where our Doughboy is, and we can thank Mr. Alan Kuhn out here for bringing the Doughboy across the street and making that park into what it is today. I just wanted to note, I think it was supposed to be cleaned today, but because of the weather, it was put off, and I'll let Alan speak to it. But I just want to mention that Alan has been critical component in keeping that park the way it is, and the cleaning is not going to be paid for by the village. It's money that's been raised personally by Alan, and he's arranged to have the Doughboy cleaned, and I'll let him just speak to that.
Alan, the curator.
Thank you, Alan.
Hi, my name is Alan Kuhn. I'm the former chairman of the Doughboy Committee, and I just wanted to explain to you that for the last 16 years since the Doughboy's been finished, I have been taking on the responsibility of hiring the company to clean the Doughboy and in one way or another raising the funds to pay for it and have it done. Just to explain, over the years, it was originally restored in 1998 from donations from just about everybody in the village, town, and beyond. And it was cleaned in 1998. It was cleaned again in 2002 with money that was earmarked for cleaning after the project was done. It was also cleaned again in 2005 from the same money left over from the doing of the Doughboy project. That money was finally used up. And in 2007, a very nice lady who you all know, Marie Wager, financed the cleaning of the Doughboy. And this year, in 2014, the Legion and the VFW are footing the bill to have it cleaned. And what I want to ask of the board is that after 16 years of doing this, I'd like to at least have the village take the responsibility monetarily to pay for it the next time it gets cleaned. And the recommendation is that every 3 to 4 years it should be cleaned. Because in that period of time, they clean it with a high-pressure wash, then they scrub it down with a wire brush completely, and then they coat it with a Carnauba car wax. They melt it on there and seal it. And it needs to be done every 3 to 4 years roughly, because that's when the time period that the wax wears off, and then it's open to the elements again. So I'd like to see if the village board could take on this responsibility of putting it in their budget every 4 years, the cost of cleaning the Doughboy. And
How much is it?
the cost next time to be cleaned will be $1,500.
Al, tell me, I mean, this Doughboy has some beautiful patina on it. It's a bronze statue, right?
It's a bronze statue.
When I've never seen it uncleaned, I mean, I just know the way it is now. Does all the patina come off, or does the patina stay on?
All what you see over there now actually is going, it's over the period of cleaning. It's going by 7 years, believe it or not. And what they want to do is try to get it back to the bronze color as best they can under the conditions that they have to clean it. But the basic thing is having the wax applied to the surface so it seals it from the outside elements, because that's what ruins the statue. The acid from the rain, the automobile emissions, all that stuff eats away at that bronze. So that's what I wanted to bring up. And it will be done this week sometime, weather permitting. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. I'd just like to note on the historical significance of the statue. I don't know if anyone out there looks at Rhinebeck Community Forum, but there was a piece in there about a week ago that gave the entire history of the statue and the sculptor, and so it's out there on Community Forum if you want to read it. I personally can't remember it all.
So are we going to vote on this tonight to take care of the statue in the future? Or are we going to wait for the 3 or 4 years?
Yeah. I mean, it is a village park. I'll make the motion that the village accept responsibility for maintenance of the Doughboy statue after the cleaning this week.
Second?
Discussion?
I just want to know, so Alan, you recommend every 3 or 4 years, you'll remain, or there's a board of directors or overseers of that statue?
Would you say that again?
I'm saying that you have a board of people that oversee that statue?
No.
You said you were a previous president or
I
something?
have personally been taking care of it since
Right.
it's been restored.
And so it's just your recommendation that we do it every 3 or 4 years? I mean, that just,
Well, I
and if
think
there was any other repair, what I'm just going to say is that
Yeah.
if there are any other repairs, should we be looking out for those, or is it something that maybe you or your people would make some recommendations to us?
I would say that the people that I hire to do it would, once they clean it, they inspect it naturally and we'll let you know.
Okay.
But it's getting very, very hard to even get a company or whatever to come and clean it.
Right.
I've been trying for the last couple of years, calling this company in Fishkill, RVW Sculpture Arrangement.
Okay.
They're the one that originally moved it from the firehouse, I had it cleaned, and then they moved it back.
Okay.
They wouldn't contact me, and finally I did get a hold of them. But there's not very many people that actually do the cleaning.
Do we own that statue? Is it
Yes.
ours? It's the village's?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think what Alan is looking for is to have somebody tend his baby.
no,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I just want to know, I want to make sure that that just by cleaning it is enough. I mean, if it's ours and it's our responsibility, then we appreciate everything
I
that
think we
you've
should-
done, and we just want to make sure we're doing the right thing going forward.
We should all keep an eye on it, you know, when they're out there maintaining the park, they should keep an eye on it, and hopefully, you know, concerned citizens that enjoy it would bring it to our attention if something was not right.
I don't know if you know about it, but that statue, the village owned it, given to the village by the Wood Canal. And it's a very rare statue. There's only 3 in the whole United States. One in Pittsburgh, one in New Jersey, and Rhinebeck. So it's a treasure that you have, so we should take care of it.
So
Absolutely.
Alan, this is the same cast?
Say again?
This is one of 3 casts? Is that what you say?
But I think we're going to have to be reminded when to get this done.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's what, I think that's what you're getting at, right?
That was what I was
Right.
trying to.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I'll still be around.
You can remind us. This is the year.
What's going on.
And maybe the VFW.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I think it is important to have some kind of an organization behind that, you know.
Well, that's what you said before, that you were the president of the committee. Was that just a
Yeah, of one.
fundraising?
Yeah.
Oh, the committee of one? Is that what it was? Oh, I'm sorry.
It was a committee of 5, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And since the project was finished,
Right.
everybody else kind of backed off, and I stayed on.
It was more of a fundraising committee to
Yeah.
take care of it and move it and that, and then,
Roughly $45,000 was raised
Wow.
to have that statue restored and moved over the.
He wants to
Rhinebeck.
institutionalize. I think that's a good idea.
It used to be right here in front of the firehouse, right here.
I'm just wondering if the VFW wouldn't, sort of, I'm not talking about the cost, I think. I sense the board is ready to accept that responsibility, but that the VFW would be a partner with us so that there's more eyes trained on
Yeah, I
it.
think we're looking for an institution to institutionalize this somehow. And because we come and go.
Right.
right?
Could it be part of the parks?
Huh?
Could it be part of parks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be the responsibility, the village's
Of the Parks
responsibility, yeah.
Department.
But we would welcome the assistance from any of the other organizations to let us know if there's something if we're missing something on it, so.
I just want everybody to know I was a member of the DeWitt Gurnell's Fife and Drum Corps back in the 70s. DeWitt Gurnell's the guy who bought the
right?
statue.
Uncle
He was Uncle DeWitt, he was a local historian, judge,
Pharmacist.
All right.
storyteller.
Were you fife or drum?
I was a drummer.
Okay,
I'll show you a picture someday.
all right.
Well, thank you, Howie, for your drumming.
Okay, you're
All
welcome.
in favor of accepting the maintenance of the Doughboy statue?
Aye.
Aye. Last thing under other business here is a notice from our village engineer, Erdman Anthony. As of October 31st, Erdman Anthony will no longer be operating in the Hudson Valley. So, as of that time, we will have to appoint another village engineer. The current engineers that work with us as part of Erdman Anthony, they may or may not be with another agency that could service us. So in the meantime, they've agreed to, see through the projects that we've started with them. Erdman Anthony is an organization out of Rochester that has, the engineers we work with are local out of a Kingston office.
Yes.
Right? But they're closing the Kingston office, so.
And they want to stay here, from what I understand, but they have to find a job someplace.
The individuals.
Individuals,
Yeah,
yeah.
5.
And when I was, before, when you guys voted on the plan, the interim plan here, I was adamant to talk to Nancy yesterday morning again to make sure that by 9/15, which precedes their closing date by about a month and a half, that this work is going to be done. But I still have one hanging out, which is the control valves, and they're going to support it out of the other office.
On to correspondence here. We have a
Just,
lot, yes.
If I might, I didn't think to get it on the agenda, but I attended the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee meeting of the Dutchess County Transportation Council, and just want to get on the record that, first of all, September, they're doing a pedestrian bike count for all of the county. So I'm looking for a volunteer to cover the hours on September 9, 10, 11, and 13. Just a couple hours, people will be at the intersection of Route 9 and Market to count numbers of pedestrians and cyclists, and that's going on all over the county. Also, October 8 is a national event, Walk to School Day, and my eyes sort of lit up at that. I live near the two schools where we have traffic jams every school day morning, and it'd be great, at least for one day, to have, we'll have some, the plan would be to have a number of adults out there so that it would be safe for all the kids who are nearby to walk instead of getting driven. So I'll be following up on that with the schools.
Well, we used to do that we used to. A couple of village board members did that a couple of years ago. It was a monthly activity.
Okay, well.
So what did they do?
Wayne and I would go to strategic locations that have a monthly walk to day school. Meta Callahan started it, yeah.
Oh, that's very nice.
All right, well, good. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I'll follow up with the school and obviously with others who know more than I do.
But then her kids got older, so they weren't in the elementary school anymore, so.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Gary. On to our correspondence section here. We have a letter from Richard and Cynthia Nelson at 32 South Street, requesting a storm drain be installed in front of their driveway to get some runoff, and they sent some photos with the damage. Have we had Mike look at that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, let's have Mike look at
Yeah.
that, see what we can do there.
Did you give a copy of this to Mike?
I think so.
You can address that with
Yeah,
Mike,
I'll
right?
talk to Mike about this.
The next one is, a couple months ago, we had a presentation from Victoria Polidoro. She's a resident of the village, and she was proposing a change in our zoning law to allow for the keeping of hens. And we had posed some questions to her, about that. And she was unable to be here tonight, but passed along some information, sent it to us, and you guys should have it there. The first is kind of a model law that's being adopted in the village of New Paltz, or was proposed to be adopted. It goes through all of the specifics that she thinks would be, a good match for us here. And then she answered the questions about the risk of the spread of disease to humans. And our other big question was, are there other communities similar to the village of Rhinebeck that allow the keeping of chickens? So she sent us some information from the CDC and some guidelines how to protect humans from the spread of disease from chickens. And she was unable to identify another village exactly like Rhinebeck, but noted that the village of New Paltz, which I referenced, was one that is about the closest, and they're looking to adopt the keeping of hens law there. So it's kind of a trend going across some larger cities, as well as other, more urban, more populated areas, similar to the village. So I think you've all had a chance to look at it at the very least.
I guess she was asking, is it appropriate for us to set a date for a public hearing?
Yeah, she had requested that we set a public hearing on the proposed amendment to gather public comment.
Well, the question is, do we want to do this?
I believe she's identified a couple of people who are already doing this. I know there are personally of a couple in the town. I believe there's maybe even be some people in the village already who are doing this. So I think it'd be good to get the public hearing so we can move the process
Yeah, but
forward.
this is going to be part of the zoning changes. So that's got to get folded in there as well, right?
Well, this is different. I think this would be a new, so
Right.
I think we'd want to have a public hearing about this.
Separately.
That's my
Yes,
sense.
yeah, I would think
think it's an
separately.
interesting, separate issue. I move that we, I don't know, what date should we look at? Would it be one?
Probably, why don't we do the September, the regular scheduled September meeting? I don't think we need a separate
Right,
date, so we'll take public.
all right. And I'm sorry, our date for our September meeting is the
It's the 9th.
9th. Okay.
Yes.
So I move that we add to our agenda a public hearing on the subject of keeping hens in the village for our September 9th meeting.
Do we have a second? I will be the second. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
I'm undecided on that.
No.
Okay. So we have 2 ayes.
We can be undecided, is that a thing, or do we have to say
Oh, you
yea or
can-
nay?
You can
This is a
abstain
vote
for-
on a public hearing.
Yeah, it's just a public hearing to take public comment, to see if there, yeah, we would take action on any change after a public hearing. It's just offering the public an opportunity to comment on this particular proposal.
I'm cool on that.
Okay. Aye.
So it's all ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So September 9th, we will have a public hearing on the proposed zoning change on the keeping of hens in the village. We have another correspondence from Joy Offerman. She's our neighbor on the other side of the police station. She has some concern about the visibility as you're exiting Center Street onto East Market.
I totally agree with that. I
Okay.
go by there almost every day, and I have almost an accident, particularly when people park SUVs there on the corner. You cannot see around the corner. It's extremely hard.
This is on the eastbound side of
Yes.
East Market Street, in front of the town hall is where the problem is.
Should we move the sign up a little bit from the corner?
No, I think that the yellow curb is being moved.
Yeah.
Well, same thing.
Yeah.
Right, I think there's a sign, no parking at
Yeah.
the corner, and we can extend the yellow curb a
Like
little further.
At least one car lane.
This has come up a number of times
Yeah.
in the past, so can we have, I guess, Pete and Mike look at it, and then we'd probably have to address, I don't know if we'd have to address it with DOT, since it's a state road.
Yeah, we probably do.
Yeah, so let's have them look at it. Her other concern was about noise from the air conditioning police department, and Sergeant Dunn's already looking into that, if there's something that we can place in front of it to reduce the amount of noise.
Some sort of screening, a fence, maybe
Yeah,
some trees or
she has a
something.
fence there already, but,
Something
So-
that absorbs the...
exactly. So he's already checking with Bettini, I believe, who installed the air conditioner to address that. So, doing our best to be good neighbors. Water and sewer adjustments.
Okay, we had 12 new owners.
Let's just, we all have it, right?
Yeah.
So let's just, make a motion to
I make a motion
approve
to
as submitted.
accept the adjustments as posted.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Heinz. Minutes approval, we have 3 dates on there. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes for July 1st, the 22nd, and 31st.
I would just make one comment, though.
Yes.
Was I not at the July 1st meeting?
I don't think you were.
I don't think I've missed one.
It was a special meeting. It wasn't a regular meeting.
But everyone
It
was
was.
there, but me.
I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, there was one that you, I thought.
seeing the 31st meeting. No, this is, but that's because
As a matter of fact, I was there.
Okay.
Because it says further down there that I made a motion.
You're too
So-
young, you're too young for that.
Okay, let's hold off on, let's split them out. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for July 22nd.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion to accept the minutes for July 31st.
I don't remember seeing them, but that's good
Second.
That's not,
discussion.
yes, discussion.
I don't remember seeing them,
They're not,
but we can accept the motion. We can vote on it
Yeah.
depending on looking at them.
they're right here. It's a short one. It was only the change order on Asher Dam.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So that's okay then.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we'll table the July 1st, Pat, and make the necessary adjustment? Is that all it is adding?
That's all it is.
Okay, so adding, I'll make a motion to accept the July 1st with the addition, the correction, adding Scott Cruikshank to the list of attendees.
Is it appropriate that I second that?
That's
Second.
appropriate, yes. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to enter executive session to discuss contract negotiations
Second.
for the police contract, yeah. All those in favor? Aye.
Who seconded that?
I'd like to make a motion to exit executive session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I would like to make a motion to reopen the general session.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. I'd like to make a motion to approve the police contract as submitted.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody got anything else? I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Were you guys sleeping?
Juicy? You're going to be very disappointed. Oh, boy. Heath?
Oh, we're waiting for Fred.
Oh, okay.
We're good. I'd like to make a motion to exit executive session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I would like to make a motion to reopen the general session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the police contract as submitted.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody got anything else? I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Were you guys sleeping?
Juicy? You're going to be very disappointed. Oh, boy. Heath?
Oh, we're waiting for Fred.
Oh, okay.
We're good. I'd like to make a motion to exit executive session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I would like to make a motion to reopen the general session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the police contract as submitted.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody got anything else? I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Were you guys sleeping?
Juicy? You're going to be very disappointed. Oh, boy. Heath?
Oh, we're waiting for Fred.
Oh, okay.
We're good. I'd like to make a motion to exit executive session.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
I would like to make a motion to reopen the general session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the police contract as submitted.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody got anything else? I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Were you guys sleeping?
Juicy? You're going to be very disappointed. Oh, boy. Heath?
Oh, we're waiting for Fred.
Oh, okay.
We're good. I'd like to make a motion to exit executive session.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
I would like to make a motion to reopen the general session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the police contract as submitted.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody got anything else? I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Were you guys sleeping?
Juicy? You're going to be very disappointed. Oh, boy. Heath?
Oh, we're waiting for Fred.
Oh, okay.
We're good. I'd like to make a motion to exit executive session.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
I would like to make a motion to reopen the general session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the police contract as submitted.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody got anything else?